I want to, but that right there is the single biggest thing standing in your way.
Where are we going now?
Gonna go get my face on so I can look nice and fierce for the Run the World conference that's happening this Savo, because someone's got a talk to give. I've had this song stuck in my head ever since I woke up, and I have absolutely no idea how it got in there. Believe it or not, I'm walking on it. Dun, 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 dun,
What the rest of the
dun,
way?
something, something, something. Ah, na, 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 na. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's like me.
Got 3 words out of the whole song.
But it'll be interesting to see what people think.
It's good though, like following your dreams and passion.
Dreams, I know. Life's too short, right?
Totally.
You followed your dream.
I did.
You did. You know when so often in life people want to do things and they just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I want to do it, but was there anything in your life where you're like, it took you a long time to finally just do it?
Yeah. For me, the big but, what happened if it didn't work?
Yeah.
What happened if I failed?
Yeah.
How embarrassing.
Yeah, how embarrassing, right? You
embarrassing,
care
right?
so much about what other people will
Embarrassing.
think.
I didn't know why I just didn't do it in the first place. Like,
Right.
I let opportunity slip
Fear.
by.
I
because,
know,
yeah.
fear.
You
Gosh,
are
look
just
at
living
it.
it.
It's beautiful.
Set.
I love hearing people's stories. What about you, Blake? How did you get into styling hair?
I started actually as a nurse
Oh,
and
did you?
went through that path
Yeah.
and did that for as long as I needed to. Moved on and sort of had to figure out what I actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I found actually drag.
Did
and
you?
yeah, and I started doing makeup through that.
That's awesome.
Realized, oh wow, you're actually quite good at this.
Yeah.
So studied makeup and a bit of hair in that as well, styling.
But the
So,
makeup would be amazing as
yeah,
well.
it's a lot of fun.
Next time we could do
Awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It might be a little
Yeah.
bit too much for today, but yeah.
There you go.
Beautiful. Oh my God, guys. Oh, that's lovely. And thank you for sharing your stories with me.
Oh, babe. Thanks for sharing your stories with us.
Good to see you again.
Thank
I'll see you next
you.
time. Nice to meet you. Cheers.
Alright, see you guys. A bit more fierce than I was this morning. I loved that Trey had a kind of ultimatum that he was already doing makeup and he was obviously really good at it and he had a full-time job, but he had an offer to go out and sort of start his own business because someone asked him to do a job. His full-time job said, if you leave, like, that's it. Like, you can't go. You can't just take a holiday. You'll lose your job. So what a massive ultimatum that is. He had to choose whether or not he wanted the safety and security of a full-time job or if he was going to go and take the plunge. And he did it. That's so good. I love hearing those stories. And I hope today I get to hear more of them. Maybe inspire a few more. I want to do like, I've got some. Oh my gosh, we need to brainstorm about like putting an edit together of a video to like launch. Oh, that's it, because you've got people. Exactly, I got people. Yeah, it's going to be really good. We'll shake it up so much, so I'll be like, this is what it's like if women run the show. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to find water.
All right.
There's no water up
You're up like
I'm
right
right
now.
there, but there's no water.
I'll cheer extra loud for you.
We are down to our last speaker, and she is a good one. Co-founder of Hunting for George, Lucy Glade-Wright.
I was really excited when I was asked to talk at this event. Laura reached out to me 3 months ago, and I was excited, but I was also nervous because she emailed me 3 months ago, and 3 months ago I said yes, but 3 months ago I was in a very different place and I was a very different person to the one that's standing in front of you today. Because 3 months ago I was the co-founder and brand director of a multi-million-dollar online retail store, Hunting for George. We were in retail for 9 years. We were the cool kids of homewares. We had great customers, we had great customer service reviews, we had a bevy of online retail awards and just retail awards under our belt. We were the best independent Australian online retailer, the best pop-up experience in Australia, beating out brands like Dan Murphy's and Super Cheap Auto. What? We were the ones to watch, top 50 people in e-commerce. But 2 months ago, I made an announcement. I sent 3 letters. 1 to our customers, 1 to our suppliers, and 1 to the industry media. And those 3 letters, they all varied somewhat in tone, but essentially they all said the same thing. That Hunting for George would be closing its online retail store to instead transform our entire business model to follow my passion and become a creative media company. Thank you. The bomb was dropped. I've got to admit, I mean, that was not long ago. That's still pretty fresh for me. So I want to talk to you today about that decision, why I made it, and what happened as a result of it. But first of all, I want to share my story with you. It's not as scary anymore, so you'll get through it. So
yeah, your worst case, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's so remarkable how you decided to follow your true purpose and passion.
So my background is communication design. I didn't really know what that was when I signed up for it. In fact, it wasn't called communication design, it was just called graphic design. I was like, that sounds cool. That sounds like I can be creative and make a living. So I signed up, I got in, I went off to uni. I did pretty well at uni. I got into a really great honours program, and after 4 years of study, I went over to London. I'm like, I'm out, I want to experience and see the world. When I was in London, I started to work, and I was freelancing. And one of the first jobs I got when I was in London was for a company called Start Creative. They were super trendy, they were in the middle of Soho, really awesome list of high-profile clients, one of which was Virgin. And I was actually brought on board to work for a particular project for Virgin Media. So what Virgin Media was, it was Richard Branson's latest expansion of his empire into television, telephone and internet services. And this company, you know, it was born from a takeover. So he was actually acquiring 2 other telecommunication companies, merging them together, popping the Virgin brand name on top to create Virgin Media. So obviously, you know, the Virgin brand, it's very respected, very iconic. They had a certain level of standard and quality in which they needed to live up to, and they needed their staff to live up to. But you know, they weren't starting from scratch. They hadn't handpicked all their staff. So their problem was that they were dealing with 2 very different groups of employees that had probably been trained very differently, different sets of ideals. And you know, they probably weren't that inspired or excited about their jobs. If anything, they were probably quite scared about their job and their job security. So our brief was to create something that would unify, educate and inspire these new Virgin Media employees. And so my project was to design a Virgin Media employee handbook. Now, I know what you're thinking, employee handbook sounds pretty damn lame and boring. That means lots of rules, lots of regulations, lots of text, lots of guidelines, do's and don'ts, that sort of thing. But this was not that sort of employee handbook. This was only a few hundred words, and it was a beautiful, short story. And it was a story that spoke directly to these new Virgin Media employees. It connected with them. It spoke to them in a language that they could understand. It told them about the changes that were going to be happening in the company. It told them about the changes that were going to be happening perhaps to them, and what it actually took for them to become a Virgin Media employee, a great one. It educated them, it motivated them, it inspired them, it challenged them, it surprised them, but most importantly, it empowered them. Now, I will not take credit for these words. These words were crafted by a senior copywriter. It was purely my job to make them look good. Now, once we finished the project, we got the job back from the printer. We were all pretty stoked. It looked really good. the copywriter came up to me and he thanked me. He gave me this massive hug. He said, thank you. Thank you for understanding my words. Thank you for giving my words so much weight, for telling my story. In fact, what he said was, you told my story even better than I could have ever imagined. That was a game changer for me. Like, that was my light bulb moment. Because up until that point, you know, I'd been designing business cards, DL flyers, you know, typesetting brochures. You know, I liked graphic design, I was good at it, but it wasn't really my passion. Like, I wasn't that passionate about kerning and typography and all those things that graphic designers are meant to be passionate about. But this project made me realise that as a graphic designer, it wasn't just my job to make things look good. It was my job to tell a story. And if I could tell that story well enough, I could actually impact people. I could influence them. I could inspire people. I could challenge them. I could change the way people think. I realised I don't just have to be a graphic designer. I could be a storyteller. And that is what I really wanted to do.
Finding your purpose is the aim of the game, which, you know, always a good topic.
What's your purpose?
What's my purpose? Well, you know, it's a good question. What's my purpose? That's not really what my talk's about. I guess it is. My talk is about doing what you love to do and having the guts to do what you want to do.
And I was chatting with a brand not long ago, actually. I won't say who they are, but they're not a startup. They've been in business for a while. And I was having coffee with them. And they just said, Lucy, we're flatlining. Like, we're not making sales. Like, the audience isn't growing. Like, we're not moving forward. We just don't know what to do. Help. I was like, shit. That sucks. And it does. Like, we've all been there, right? And when you just feel like you're just stuck and you're not moving anywhere. So we started to break it down and we started to kind of discuss what they were currently doing to promote their business and maybe what else they could be doing to leverage their business. The thing is about this brand, though, that they're so creative. Like, they're artists. A lot of what they do is handmade. And I just said to them, you guys are so awesome. Like, you really are awesome. You need to be telling other people how awesome you are. You need to tell your story. You need to show people how much time and effort goes into all of these amazing pieces that you make. Like, people don't know this. You need to share and bring people into your creative process. Open that up. Give people a bloody good reason to spend their money with you. And they said to me, well, yes, we want to share our creative process, but we're worried that people are going to copy us. And that's something I hear a lot. I want to, but. I want to, but. That right there is the single biggest thing standing in your way. I want to, but I'm worried people are going to copy me. I want to, but that's not really what I do. I don't do that, really. I want to, but I don't have time. I'm too busy. I want to, but what if I fail? What if I'm no good? I want to, but it's not ready yet. It's not perfect. That's a good one. I hear that a lot.
And I think the reason why people don't do what they love is because it can be really scary. It can be really hard and quite terrifying, to be honest. You know, you can put yourself out there and experience so many kind of negative things, you know, failure and rejection and all of that. But if you put yourself out there, you can also get opportunity and success.
I want to, but this is the single biggest thing standing in your way. And this is the difference between the people out there that are achieving their goals and the people that do not. Now, I am not immune to this. I hear this dialogue constantly from other people and also from myself, okay? So I've got two sides to me. On one side, there's good Lucy. And look, she occupies generally 95% of my mind. She's like my majority. She's my biggest cheerleader. She's awesome. She's got my back. She's my girl. She tells me not to worry about what other people will think. Just do it. Follow my dreams. Be passionate. She's awesome. Then I've got evil Lucy. She's real surly. She's got like a 3-finger whiskey. She's swirling it around, painfully pointing out all of the things that could go wrong, judging me. You could make that announcement, Lucy, but everyone's going to think you're a big fat failure. Everyone's going to laugh at you. How embarrassing. She's horrible. She's nasty. But everybody's got their own voice. Yours might not be as evil and as surly as mine, may not drink whiskey, but everybody has that voice. It's whether or not you choose to listen to it. 8 years ago, it was my boyfriend's birthday coming up. Now husband, sweet. And I was like, it's his birthday coming up. I want to do something nice. So I wanted to design him an artwork. Thought that'd be nice. Created an art print, framed it up, gave it to him on his birthday. He loved it. He's like, this is awesome. I'm like, thanks, I know, I made it. He's like, you should really sell this. What? No. He's like, well, why not? Like, you sell other art prints on Hunting for George. Why wouldn't you just sell your own? Woof. Exactly. So I was like, but because I'm not a product designer. That's not what I do. I'm a graphic designer. I design stories to sell products, other people's products. That's not what I do. That's what I told him, that's what I told myself, but I was just shit scared. I didn't want to put my stuff out there. What if it sucked? What if people laughed at me? I didn't have permission to do that. I was an artist. I'm a fraud. It took about 6 months of convincing, and finally I was like, all right, I'll sell the damn print. But if I do it, I'm going to do it well. Pretty much my motto for life. So I called up my interior designer friend, the only friend I knew that had a grown-up nice house. And I said, I need a grown-up nice house to shoot my art print in. Can I do it? She's like, sure, come round. She helped me style it up. Had no budget, so my boyfriend took the photo and I just retouched the shit out of it. And it looked a little something like this. Within about a month, maybe 2, that became our best-selling product. A funny thing happened as well. Not only were we selling heaps of them, everyone started to share it. The people that bought it, even the people that didn't buy it, started to share it, saying how much they loved it. They shared it with their own family and friends in their own community, telling them how much it meant to them. They then started to share it. It grew. That momentum, growth, it all happened. I grew so much in confidence. And I'm like, maybe I am a product designer. So I designed some more art prints. And I'm like, well, shit, why stop there? I'm going to design a whole bed linen collection. And I did. And we sold out. And I kept going and going. Cushions, blankets, accessories, furniture, the lot. We kept going. It got bigger and bigger. And the more the products got bigger, the more the campaigns got bigger. And I got better and better at art directing and styling until our campaigns went from looking like this to that. Crazy. We weren't just styling up little vignettes anymore. We're doing a whole fucking house. And we designed pretty much everything in it. And if we didn't design it, we sure as shit sold it. It's amazing to think that we may not have ever got to there if I hadn't have just had the courage to put that print up online. Is anyone out there, put your hand up if you're familiar with the Let Us In home tours, which is essentially me breaking and entering into other people's homes and having a snoop around. Oh, okay. You're all in for a treat. I'll give you a taster. And outdoor shower. Totally standing here in the nutty, no one sees you, except just a couple of pervy cows. I mean, what's wrong with that? Hey everyone, today we are going to be taking a look at the Wensley. No, that is not a Harry Potter character, but that is a house that's been given that name because it's located in Wensleydale, which is just out the back of Anglesey on Victoria's Surf Coast. The owners that live here, they call this place the Shed. Don't know about you, but that don't look like any shed I've ever seen. It's windswept out here, the sun's not on our side, so I'm kind of keen to get inside. Let's go. Ooh, may have trodden in couch. Watch this.
welcome to my home. I wish. How amazing is this?
So we released that video earlier this year. What you don't know is that we had the idea for that video series 2 years ago. 2 years. That's a really long time. We really wanted to do it, but we had lots of really great excuses. We really wanted to do it, but we were too busy, didn't have time. We really wanted to do it, but that's not what we did. We were meant to be selling stuff, we were retailers. We said, if we don't do this, if we don't just do this thing that we want to do, it's never going to happen. It's something that we really want to do, let's just do it. We sorted out the house, we turned up, we shot it, we edited, we watched it. That's the first episode we ever did. We watched it back. And we were kind of in two minds about it because we watched it and on one side we were like, this is really good. Like, this is fun and it's different and it's unique and no one has really done this and it's good. On the other side, we could see all of the things wrong with it, you know? You could see all of the things that we could improve on and fix. Jono was like, wish I'd known how to use my camera by then because, you know, I would have figured out my autofocus and like camera angles. And I was like, wish I'd remembered to wash my hair and thought of something intelligent to say so I don't look like an idiot. We knew it wasn't perfect. We knew that, but we knew that if we didn't put it out because it wasn't perfect, it was literally never going to happen. So we put it out. Our audience loved it. They didn't see all the negative things that we saw. Granted, 1 or 2 people commented about the camera skills, but there's always going to be haters. You got to take a little bit of bad with the good. I was thinking about it though, would I have done it again if it hadn't have gone according to plan, if it hadn't really gone that well? And the answer is yes. And the reason why I would have done it is because I fucking loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved going out to the home. I loved meeting the homeowner. I loved chatting to them about the way that they lived. I loved figuring out how I was going to showcase the home and take people on a journey with me so they felt like they were there with me. I loved thinking about how I was going to describe the home, how I was going to direct it, how I was going to edit it, produce it, promote it, everything. I loved it. Like deep in my heart, gut and soul, absolutely loved it. The thing is, when you're lucky enough to find something you love, you can put everything else that you don't love into very clear perspective. And here lay my problem. Because I had created Hunting for George, the brand, and I absolutely loved everything about it. I loved the direction we were going. I loved the content we were creating. I loved our community. I loved engaging. I loved it. We were selling things though, and I didn't love that. I didn't love the retail anymore. I didn't love e-commerce anymore. I didn't really like the direction that was going. And yet that was consuming the entire of my time. That was easily consuming most of my life. I just thought, and not only that, I should say, causing me significant amount of stress, severe anxiety, couldn't sleep at night. It wasn't healthy. I thought, I wonder what my life would be like if I removed the element of my life that was no longer serving me to instead focus 100% of my energy on doing something that I love. So that was the basis of my decision to close the retail store. I'm not going to bullshit you. It was really, really tough. It's not like I woke up one day and was like, I'm going to close my online store. It's fine. I had a very sizable company. It was a very long process. Very long process. It took a long time to transition from being retail to being a creative media company. There was a lot I had to do. There was a lot I had to sacrifice. There was a lot I had to invest and really, I look back on especially the first 6 months of this year, and they were probably the hardest months of my entire life. And I just have absolutely no idea how I actually got through it. I think I was just running on adrenaline, you know. But I really wanted to do it, but so many buts. I was a boss. I was an employer. I had responsibilities to my employees, to my team. I had contracts, I had suppliers, I had legal issues to go through. It was a logistical minefield, it was a nightmare. And on top of that, I had evil Lucy. She's so mean to me, telling me all the horrible things that are going to happen to me and all those nasty things that people are going to say to me. Oh, she was such a little bitch. But when I made that announcement, no one got pissed off. The world didn't end. And in fact, I was actually quite surprised, a little bit annoyed, at how little effect that change actually had on my ecosystem, you know? And I realized, God, my mind was just working so much against me. Before I made that announcement, I was freaking out about that media release. I was like, oh, what am I going to put in this media release? I spoke with my mentor, and she just said to me, look, Lucy, if you're being honest with yourself, if you're being honest with others, and you're saying, hey, this is no longer working for me, I'm going to do this, and this is why, who's going to begrudge you that? No one.
So you kicked us. That was
Oh,
awesome.
thank
That
you
was
very
so
much.
good.
What was your name?
Sharuni.
Sharuni.
Yeah.
Thank you so
No,
much.
That was just awesome. The vibe and energy. Like,
Ah.
I was kind of like after lunch. Oh, I'm not feeling
I was a bit worried because I was like, meditation. I'm like, don't put everyone to sleep. I'm able to come in and
It
like,
was just nice to see a real woman out there,
Oh,
you know. 'Cause
thank
we
you.
all talk the fluffy and airy fairy stuff, but you were just real.
thank you. That means a lot. Thank you very much. I'm looking out on a pretty awesome group of people today. I have no doubt that there are just so many goals that are sitting in this room waiting to happen. And maybe you're sitting there and there's that one thing, you know, there's that something that you're waiting to kind of just be pushed over the edge. Well, allow me. Except nothing I do is gentle, so instead of a soft push, it's going to be more like a sharp elbow to the ribs. Courtesy of my 23-year-old self, prepared earlier, have the courage to jump. Do it. Don't overthink it. Just jump. You have absolutely no idea where you'll land, and that's precisely why you should jump. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure to share my story. Thank you.
Like mad respect when she's doing her bad Lucy.
Yeah.
I love the creative storytelling.
Oh, yes.
That was awesome.
That's
That was
the
awesome.
relatability.
Thank
of
you.
that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Ah, it was amazing. There was really good energy. Believe it or not, I'm working on it. Oh, that was really good. Believe it or not, I'm walking on it.
What show was that?
It's like The Greatest American Hero.
Oh.
It was a TV show. Yeah, it was. I think it's so old and we're so old that that was the name of it. Yeah.